Imagine standing in a small, windowless room inside your own house. You hear the click of a lock behind you, and suddenly the handle won't turn. You have no food, there is no phone, and no way out. For a 69-year-old woman living in a Paris suburb and 82-year-old Joan Rivett in North Carolina, this exact scenario became a terrifying reality. Neither woman was doing anything unusual. One was simply using the restroom. The other was just getting ready for bed. Yet in a matter of seconds, both found themselves entirely cut off from the rest of humanity for weeks. It raises a difficult question. How exactly does a person completely vanish while sitting inside their own home, with the outside world remaining completely unaware? We tend to view our homes as safe sanctuaries, but under a highly specific set of circumstances, those familiar walls can instantly become an invisible trap. The ordeal for Joan Rivett began in the quiet, isolated valleys of Clyde, North Carolina. During her normal nighttime routine, Joan lost her balance. She fell backward into her bathtub and sustained injuries that left her physically unable to climb back out, no matter how hard she tried. Across the Atlantic, in the dense, towering apartment blocks of the Parisian suburb Épinay-sous-Sénart, the trigger was entirely mechanical. A heavy bathroom lock broke, trapping a 69-year-old woman in a room surrounded by thousands of oblivious neighbors. This timeline shows the strict biological equation both women immediately faced. While a human body can endure starvation for weeks, the rapid degradation caused by dehydration is brutal. Without access to food, survival comes down to a single currency: water. Trapped in her tub, Joan realized her only option was right above her. Stretching her foot upward, she managed to turn the bath tap, securing small, life-saving sips of water to keep her organs functioning. The physical toll was matched by severe sensory deprivation. Joan sat immobilized, watching the ambient light cycle endlessly from daylight to pitch black, and back again as the days bled together. To stave off the creeping panic, Joan relied heavily on strict mental discipline. She focused on prayer and maintained an active, positive mindset to keep herself grounded as she waited for help. Securing water solved the immediate physiological problem, but enduring the agonizing wait required winning a grueling psychological war against total isolation and despair. While Joan was geographically isolated in North Carolina, the French woman's isolation occurred despite living in a high-density apartment complex, surrounded by people. Hoping to alert the residents living right next door, she spent her nights desperately banging and tapping on her bathroom plumbing pipes, sending frantic SOS signals through the building's infrastructure. Her neighbors distinctly heard the banging. But instead of recognizing it as a plea for help, they assumed it was just another tenant doing late-night DIY home repairs. Rather than knocking on her door to investigate or calling for a welfare check, the frustrated neighbors actually drafted a petition demanding the noise stop so they could sleep. This diagram illustrates a psychological phenomenon we can call the social blind spot. The French woman's bathroom directly shared a physical wall with her neighbors' living spaces. Because they lived so close together, the neighbors falsely assumed safety, believing that if there actually was an emergency, surely someone else in the building would notice and handle it. In modern high-density environments, a person fighting for their life can literally be mere inches away, right on the other side of the drywall, while the community around them remains completely oblivious. The silence was finally broken in Clyde, North Carolina, 9 days after Joan Rivett first fell. Joan's brother, who regularly called to check in, noticed several days had passed without an answer. Knowing her routines, he contacted local authorities and requested a welfare check, leading officers directly to her bathroom. Meanwhile, in France, neighbors finally realized they hadn't seen the 69-year-old pensioner in nearly 3 weeks. Parisian emergency responders scaled the building, broke into her second-floor apartment, and smashed the bathroom door off its hinges to end her 20-day confinement. When crews reached both women, they found them in severely weakened states. They were highly dehydrated and physically exhausted, but against incredible odds, they were alive. Their stories highlight a stark medical reality. For older adults living alone, household falls are a leading cause of severe injury, turning routine moments into sudden medical emergencies. Recognizing this ongoing risk, Joan Rivet made the practical decision to leave her empty house and move in with family members, ensuring someone would always be around to hear her if she called for help. We rely on locks to keep the dangers of the outside world at bay, but sometimes the real danger is being locked inside. A simple phone call or a routine knock on a neighbor's door is an easy habit to form, and it can be a literal lifeline.